Hey, how you doing, y'all? I had some recording challenges today, but all is well and good. I hope you enjoyed the video that I did post. I think I did it live for a while, but I'm not sure because I'm testing a new equipment right now. So, I'm going to resume you very quickly what I was talking about. So we're talking about genetic blueprint. So are we a victim of our parents' genes or we're not? Is our behavior, our attitude, the way we do things influenced by the genetic pattern of our parents or not? The answer is no. And that's the work from Dr. Bruce Lipton, that is a cellular biologist who actually did a wonderful online courses on the biology of thoughts. So what I said today is this: only 5% of the population will be born with a genetic deficiency, a genetic disorder, meaning that there's something not going too good with their chromosomes. So 5%. So 5% would be people with Down syndrome, would be people with cystic fibrosis, and that kind of conditions. Now, if we're not controlled by our genes, what are we controlled by, right? Well, here's the thing. Here's a really cool and good news. So we are each human being, me, you, your neighbor. We are a community of cells, of 50 trillion cells, meaning that if you take your clothes off, you are 50 trillion cells. Now, do not do that, but it's just to give you an image of what I'm talking about. Our whole body is it's not a one big cell, but it's 50 trillion cells. And the thing is that inside each of these cells, there is an immune system, there is a reproductive system, there is a digestive system, and you know what? They communicate between them. There's a communication system as well in one cell, and we are made of 50 trillion cells. So the question is, how are we feeding our cells? How are we feeding our body? Because our cell is directly influenced by our health. So we have 50 trillion cells. This is what we're made of. And the cells will react to our emotions. So how do that work? How is it working exactly? Well, the emotions we have will release chemicals like endorphin, cortisol, and epinephrine, and that kind of thing. So the body, the emotions will release cortisol, will release, I think of adrenaline, think of the fight or flight. So when we have these emotions, anger, resentment, retaliation, anger, that is all repressed, and it's all going on at the same time. There are chemicals that are released in our bloodstream, and these chemicals are like adrenaline in the case of a fight or flight response, right? Now, what triggers these chemicals that you're probably wondering? What triggers these chemicals are our emotion, how we feel, the environment that we are surrounded by that makes us feel all kinds of, I'm not talking about, good things that are happening. Of course, right? When we feel good, I mean, we have endorphins being released, serotonin, we have dopamine, it's all good and it's all dandy. So I am addressing women who are still believing that they are, whatever we are becoming in our future is because of the gene of our parents. Okay, so that is not happening. It is not true. So what releases these chemicals in our body? It's our reactions to our emotions. And what it triggers our reaction? It's our thinking. is the way we think. What triggers the way we think? Well, it's the environment that we are surrounded by. That's what triggers everything. So it is a circle reaction, right? Hey, thank you guys, appreciate that. It's a chain reaction, and really we could talk about it in the other way. I could say, you know what, your environment is affecting your thoughts, and because the way you think, you have chemicals released in your bloodstream, and because you have chemicals released to your bloodstream, these chemicals are the signal that are going to your cells, that are telling your cells, hey, something's wrong here, right? Not feeling good. So the cells will release cortisol, adrenaline, epinephrine, and what happens then is the body gets sick, because each one of us, we are a community of 50 trillion cells. Each one of us. Think about that, okay? It is not easy to wrap our mind around this, because we need to hear it very often. And I know I did, because I was convinced that my life would be impacted because I had my mother's genes. And I believed that for a very, very long time. And because of Dr. Bruce Lipton's work, that if you want to go deeper into this topic, I would certainly invite you to go on his website, www.brucelipton.com, and look at his online classes that he's going to give. I think it's 5 weeks, but it's all recorded. It's pre-recorded, so you can listen to these classes whenever you're ready to. And yeah, so you can go there. And when I learned that, when I heard that the first time, that my mother's genes had nothing to do with impacting the future of my life, for me personally, it was a big revelation. I mean, that when I heard that, it made my day. And I know that the person I am targeting today, that I am talking to, are women who have been raised in a very intense environment. Often they were self-raised, and they are still under the impression and the belief, right, that they are a victim of their genes. And some women, right, they will hide behind that. They will line up excuses because of that. They will say, well, I have my parents' genes. Well, I have my mother's genes. Well, yes, you do. But remember that only 5% of the population will be born with defective genes, with chromosomes that are defective. There are certain things, of course, right? Like alcoholism, for instance. It's genetic. And sometimes it will skip a generation, but it is genetic. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a large number of the population, women. I don't know about men. I never investigated, and I'm not really interested in. But for women who still believe that, it's not true. And I did a recording with a slide with all these points, right, in order for you to keep that to refer to. Because I know it's not something that is easy to wrap around our minds. What is easy to remember is that there's no impact, there's no influence, there's no consequences. The genes of our parents have no impact, no consequences on us. Why is the healing part? The why is what will make a difference in your life. The why is going to convince you finally that it's true. It is the why. Why? Well, why is because we are a community of 50 trillion cells. And our cells, each cell has an intelligence. They can communicate. They have an immune system, a digestive system, a reproduction system, and they can communicate with each other. Cells will receive chemicals from our emotions. This is what triggers the release, right? We're angry, we're resentful, we want to retaliate, we want to make it even with someone. we have grudge and we nurture that, we nurture that, we nurture that. Well, all that time that we do that, it releases chemicals in our bloodstream. And these chemicals are triggered by the emotions that we feel, and the emotions that we feel, here's the chain reaction. The emotion that we feel, the emotions that we are feeling, they are triggered by our thoughts. And our thoughts are triggered by the environment. So it is a very, very vicious circle. And we have to wake up to that in order to stop it. Okay? I mean, it's easy to say, oh, our thoughts are influencing our life. What we think becomes what we live. Well, that's all nice and dandy, right? Because I heard it. When it's time to implement these things, these principles that are absolutely true, it's another ball game. And this is what should be said. It is not said enough or explained enough. So our thoughts are influenced by our environment. It is a chain reaction. It's not an alarm. I mean, don't call 911, okay? Don't call 911. You just need to know it. And then once you know it, knowledge will change you at the cellular level. It starts there. You have even no idea what you have started. Knowledge will do that. Knowledge will empower you. And powerful knowledge will make you powerful. And that is very true. If we know something, if we know the depth of it, if it's factual, you will know in your body here, right here. You will know instantly that it's true. And that is true. And that is a good news for all of us. Because finally, we can be empowered by that. Women can be empowered by that. Saying no matter what my mother did, the kind of life she had, the addictions and everything, I am I am a new story. And I can create my life as beautiful as I can. Because what drives me to a certain behavior or attitude or thinking or, the way we think, the way we perceive, it's not caused by genes. And that's the information. It's caused by the environment that will trigger your thoughts. Your thoughts will trigger your emotions, right? You're going to start feeling not too happy about what's going on, right? And then your emotions will release chemicals in your bloodstream, right? Chemicals in your bloodstream. Chemicals will trigger the cell to have a reaction. How about, cortisol being released in your bloodstream all the time? Would you like that? Think about adrenaline when there's a fight or flight response. Everybody has experience of flight or fight response. Am I talking too much here? I wish we had a timer on that thing because we don't have a timer. So I apologize. If I talk too much, just cut me. So I will tell you in one sentence what I just explained for maybe 15 minutes. We think what we feel, and we feel what we think. We think what we feel, and we feel what we think. Just that. Just that. Just put that on a piece of paper. Read it. Think about it. Digest it. And then you know what? You can comment below this video here and give me your thoughts. Don't hold back with Louise. Say what you think. These are important topics. This is important information. And once you know all that, what do I do? Right? I'm sure you say, okay, now I know it, I understand it. You go, okay, now I read your slide about 15 times, so what am I doing? Where do I start? When do I start? Where do I start? How do I start? Well, you're going to start here and right now. And how is you're going to start teaching, educating yourself? You're going to read that cell and you're going to process it, and your change is going to start right there, where you are right there, in the midst of the crisis. in the midst of the dysfunctional environment. That's where it's going to start, because reading that, understanding that, that will give you power. The power of what, Louise? The power of taking a decision, the power of taking action, the power of saying yes. Yes to my freedom. Yes, I'm getting out of here and it's happening right now. I'm running to the back door. Okay? So I leave you on this, and I'm thanking you very much for watching this, and please contribute your comments if you feel like it, and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Labor Day weekend, okay? Remember that I'm here for you. I have your back. I'm here to provide you with really, really cool and factual information, and as well, you know, quotes and wonderful things and joy and laughter and a lot of love and forgiveness. But, you know, we have to talk about the other things too, right? I mean, this is not a page where everything is always really nice and dandy and all the quotes and, oh yeah, you know, it makes you feel good. What's going to make you feel good is if you turn your life around. That's going to make you feel good. That is freedom, when this is what you are seeking. Okay? I'm ready to start. I hear that so much on my page. I read that a ton of my page. I'm ready to change. I'm ready to do it. You ready to do it? Educate yourself. Read this slide and you'll see that it's going to happen. It's going to start. And you and I will start talking. Okay? Thank you for being on my page, and I love y'all. Bye. I got to turn this thing off now. Okay.